Hey guys, Magentas is back here today again with another super awesome Buddyfight deck profile. So, let's make a guess here. You have 3 seconds to make a guess. 1, 2, 3. Made a guess yet? Okay. So, Darkness Dragon World, Purgatory Knights deck. Now, you probably have guessed it since it would be in the video title anyway. Okay, so we got sweet SP version of Purgatory Knight's leader, Demille Sword Dragon. So his skill, counter, act, during your turn, destroy another monster on your field with Purgatory Knight in its card name. If you do, stand this card. So SP as the buddy. Yeah. So let's get on with the rest of the deck. So of course, 4 copies of our... just put it there. 4 copies of our buddy monster, Purgatory Knight's leader, Demille Sword Dragon. So I just went through the effects. So he has 6k attack, hits a lot of walls, yeah, and 3k defense. Not ideal, however, yeah, he's just like very strong. Like the multiple attacks, even if he survives one turn, he would have done enough damage. It's worth. Okay, so next for the size 2 monsters, we play 4 Purgatory Knight, Mad Halberd Dragon. So pay 1 gauge. If you have another card with Purgatory Knight in its card name on the field, this card gets moved. So it has a 6k balance stats. Yeah, so it's basically something like a Halberd Dragon. However, it's conditional move because apparently they have lesser stats. Yeah, because conditional moves actually take away 1k power based on my observations. Okay, whatever. So that's because leaving this deck leaves the center open. What am I saying? So of course you need move monsters to save yourself. So next, last size 2 monster, Purgatory Knight Cruel Command. So pay cost of 2 gauge, destroy another monster with Purgatory Knight in its card name on your field. If you do, destroy a monster on your opponent's field. So 5k balance stats and 2 crits. So yeah, basically it's you run him like a backup to Demille, so you can play him as a resource burn. So you burn yourself and you burn your opponent. It's kind of stupid if you ask me. However, Purgatory Knight has awesome recycling spells, so actually it's kind of worth it. Yeah, and you get to destroy any monster in your opponent's field. So you can like destroy your useless size 0 in, like size 0 won't change your field too much, so you destroy it, and you can like destroy a monster on your opponent's field. If he's playing like Seeger deck, well, good luck to him then. So yeah, you can destroy any monster, makes him pretty solid card. So it's also a very good Demille's backup. So size 1 monsters, we play. Okay, so technically Gyram lands. So this card, Purgatory Knight's Gyram lands Dragon. So technically he's a size 2 monster. However, if you have a buddy monster with Purgatory Knight in its card name, reduce the size of this card by 1. Yeah, so basically, essentially it's a size 1 with 6k attack and 2k defense, which is similar to Purgatory Knight's Troubadour Dragon. So that's a promo card which cannot be called to center with the same attack exact stats. So of course this card is triple rare, so there must be something cool about it. So it's also a replacement to Demille. So counter act, during your turn, destroy another monster on your field with Purgatory Knight in its card name. If you do, for this turn this card gets 1 crit. You may use this ability once per turn. So basically you destroy a monster and you gain 1 crit for this, so it makes it a 3 crit monster. Yeah, so total we have 11 monsters that destroy other monsters. That's pretty good. So we play 1, tag in Purgatory Knight Swordbreaker Dragon. So when this card deals damage to your opponent, if you have 6 life or less, destroy an item on your opponent's field. So not the best stats, however the effect is pretty good. So run him at 1 copy. Yeah. Okay, next we have 2 copies of Purgatory Knights, Lunacy Worn Dragon. So 2k balance stats and 2 crits. So during the attack phase, when this card is destroyed by the effects of a monster, you gain 1 life. So Purgatory Knights, Lunacy Worn Dragon. So basically, you call him and you use other cards to sack him out, and you gain plus, you gain life from it. So pretty good. So another alternative to run apart from him would be Purgatory Knight Evil. Give me a moment, like 5 seconds. Okay, so I think I took like 15 seconds, however, yeah, I found it. So Purgatory Knight's Evil Grab Dragon, I have no idea, is this even English? So during an attack phase, when this card is destroyed by the effects of a monster, draw a card. So both of them are really good cards. I play him just for the better crit. Yeah. However, the draw is really useful in this deck, especially when you are calling monsters constantly. Yeah. So no, this is not actually in my deck. It's just from my spare cards. Yeah. So next, 2 Purgatory Knights Silver Staff Dragon. So 5k attack, 1 crit, 4k defense. Sacking material. So next, we play 4 Purgatory Knights Iron Girt Dragon. So 4k attack, 2 crits and 2k defense. So yeah, just for the 4k attack. So lastly, for the size zeros, we play 1 Crossbow Dragon. You may only call this card if you have a Purgatory Knight in its card name on your field. So when this card deals damage to your opponent, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. So basically it's a El Quixote, which is size 0. And 2 Knuckle Duster Dragon. So it's a 2k, 2 crits, and 1k defense. So yeah, you may only call this card if you have a card with Purgatory Knight in its card name on your field, which makes them balanced. Yeah, compared to like normal size zeros. Yeah, so 3 size zeros. You can run more, like bump it up to 5, but I think 3 works well for me. Okay, for the spells. So firstly, we play our recycling spells. 1 Purgatory Knight Forever. So pay 1 gauge and you take 1 damage, aka you pay 1 life. So put up to 2 monsters with Purgatory Knights in its card name from your drop zone into your hand. So you can run more copies of this, however I play 1 of it. Could do with more. And 2 Black Revengers. So you may only cast this card at 5 life or less, pay 1 gauge, choose up to 1 size 1 and up to 1 size 2 monsters from your drop zone and put them into your hand. So yeah, Black Revenger, you don't have to pay life, which is take damage. However, you can, the restriction is you only can choose 1 size 1 and 1 size 2 monster. And of course you may only cast this card when you have 5 life or less. So yeah. So basically they do roughly the same thing. The cost is about the same. Okay. Next, 2 Set Spell Pain Field. Pay 2 gauge and you take 1 damage. So when an attack of cards on your field is nullified, deal 1 damage to your opponent, which makes this card super OP. Yeah. So you may only set 1 pain field on your field and your opponent cannot gain life other than Buddy Gift. So this card really kills all those Blue Sky Knights deck or whatever life gain deck. So it's the best card against those decks. So tip to all those life gain decks, my tip to you is run more spell destruction. So most of them, they won't bump it up to like 5, did I say 5? Yeah. They won't bump it up to 4 pain fields because it's just not super worth the space. So if you can destroy it once, you probably won't get another one. So run your spell destruction cards. Yeah. So we have 4. Crush that body and sustain mind. So 1 parallel foil version. So when a monster on your field with Purgatory Knights in its card name is destroyed by an effect, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. So when your life would become 0, put this in your drop zone, put the top card of your deck into your drop zone. If that card is a spell, your life becomes 2. You may only set 1 of this card on your field. So basically it's like a Thunder Knight formation, however it's the Purgatory Knight clone. So whenever you destroy one of your Purgatory Knights monster, you can charge 1 gauge. Yeah, and it's a Glory Seeker effect, so you have that slight chance of you living from like complete wreckage by your opponent. Okay, so 4 copies of Purgatory Flame that resides within the body, so you may only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn. Cast cost 2 gauge. Destroy a monster with Purgatory Knights in its card name on your field. If you do, nullify the attack and deal damage to your opponent equal to the crit of the card destroyed. So it's basically a nullifier with 2 gauge, and you can deal damage to your opponent, which gives you a chance, just that little bit of chance, that you can kill your opponent off during your turn, during his turn, which is actually a very good card. So lastly, standard shield, 4 Black Dragon shield. So reduce the damage, yeah, and gain 1 life. So that will be it for all the spell cards that I run. So item cards for Purgatory Sword Fatal. So basically, equip cost of 1 gauge. When a monster on your field is destroyed for this turn, this card gets 1 crit. This ability only activates once per turn. So it's a Dragon Wing clone for Purgatory Knights. Yeah. And lastly, the horizontal cards of the deck. So our impact cards, we run 4 Distortion Punisher. So cast cost of 4 gauge. You may only cast this card and use one of the following abilities if your opponent has 4 life or less, and neither you nor your opponent has a monster in center, which is the same restriction as Gargantua Punisher. So deal 4 damage to your opponent. And the second part, so you can choose either deal 4 damage to your opponent or counter final. During your opponent's final phase, you may use this ability when your opponent casts an impact, and you can deal 4 damage to him. So cast and impact, so it works on like super lethal formation or just lethal formation. Even before it procs, like he uses the impact to set something into its soul, you can already use this card to kill him off. Yeah, and Tasuku just looks awesome here. So there's a lot of counterplay opportunities with this, so you can deal 4 damage to people with Gargantua. So technically what the interaction is, you deal 4 damage to him. If he makes it out alive, his Gargantua damage would proc on you. So just pray for the best. Yeah, and it works on every impact card. So yeah, there's nothing to it, it's just really good. So that will be it for my Darkness Dragon World Purgatory Knights deck. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like down below to show me some support. Yeah, and just some notice. Yeah, so I have like my mailbox now. So if you want me to like if you want me to do like a review on your favorite card, if you have extras of it, you can mail it to me. I'll leave it in the description below. And yeah, if you have like booster packs, you feel like you're very lucky with booster packs, you can mail me some booster packs, who knows. Yeah, so I'll give you a shout out if you mail me stuff. Yeah, so hope to see you in the next video. Yeah, so until then, goodbye.